everyone. We want to welcome you today to the We Are Flora Pearl podcast. I'm your host, Latasha J. Humphrey, founder of the Flora Pearl Foundation Incorporated, and I'm super excited to get into this podcast today. But before it gets started, I want to introduce my co-host, Miss Destiny McCarter.
Hey.
And Miss Nisaa Muhammad.
How y'all doing?
All right. And so we're excited to say that this is our episode 8 of our podcast. And today it is entitled, Heal, Yeah, I Am Getting Better with Time. And so before we jump into it, Nisaa, if you'll introduce our moment of silence.
Yes. Okay. So moment of silence, y'all. So this is episode 8. Right? We're in month 8. Yesterday was the 8th day. So like y'all seeing, and you remember last week we talked about how 8 represents like infinity and the constant flow of energy and power. And biblically it represents the beginning. And so we are just 8ed out right now. And I think it's just beautiful right now to take a moment and really sit and continue to reflect in all of the good and the wonderful that is going to be coming to us, that has already come to us, and the wonderful that we've had today that we probably didn't even really acknowledge because it's so normal to us. So that is our moment of silence today. It's a moment of gratefulness.
All right, y'all. So, I reluctantly say this, but I'm going to say, go ahead, Nisaa, Lord, I can't even get it out. Take us into the what's really real. Oh, my goodness.
The news is, there is no news. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
I know.
I mean, but I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't give you what's really real. I would be Willy Wonka, you know, and I'm not. So, what's really real? So, we're going to talk about, y'all know I'm a traveler. So, something about me, y'all, I like to take at least, before Corona happened, I used to love to take at least 2 trips a year, okay, out of state. And if I was going out of the country, maybe 1.5 trips, right? So, Southwest Airline, which I love to fly Southwest because they're the bomb.com. But apparently, they are trying to prioritize high-touch areas and minimize their turnaround time on their flights. So in an effort to do that, they're saying that they're no longer going to be cleaning the armrest and seatbelts between flights during a pandemic. Yeah. So apparently they're going to still clean like the bathrooms and the tray tables between each flight. But they're saying that areas like the armrests, which you put your arms on, and the seatbelts, which you have to touch to secure to your body, these areas are going to be deeply cleaned for about 6 or 7 hours at nighttime. But it's not something you have to worry about in between flights. So that's really real. Just like Corona. Really, you know. I'm just saying, I wanted to take a trip, and now y'all kind of ruining that for me. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's just doesn't go well.
Yeah. I just feel like I could fly Spirit if I wanted to be treated this way. Like, that's where I'm going to be, is in the Spirit if y'all don't clean these seatbelts. Oh, my gosh.
And I really have to say, I am disappointed in Southwest. Like, when I fly, that's normally who I fly with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be, though.
You know.
No pandemic coming.
No, right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either that or have to take a page out of Naomi Campbell's handbook, and you know, but I didn't pay to do that, you know. So, so y'all remember last week? I think it was you, Miss Humphrey. You brought up there was a student in this high school, and she sent a picture out about how crowded her school was, and we were talking about like, oh my God, why COVID's going on. So apparently that young lady's name is Hannah Waters, and she goes to North Paulding High School in Georgia. So she was suspended for that photo, right? She got suspended for posting it. However, the school said that she was suspended for violating the school's social media policy and posting pictures of minors without consent, not because she posted the particular picture or what the picture was about, but because it's the school's policy. They went on to say, which I think is hilarious, that face masks, wearing them is not a policy that they can enforce, but they suspended Shorty about a picture. I don't know. They did uplift it. Like, they went ahead and they took it away so she can go back to school, but it's kind of like, how y'all gonna pick and choose what y'all can enforce? Like, I don't understand. Y'all can make sure students don't have cell phones on. Y'all can make sure girls don't have spaghetti straps, but you can't enforce this. Okay, sure. It's just our children's health we're talking about.
Yeah, I think that's kind of crazy. Like, enforce dress code, but anything that's going to keep them actually alive, we hold up on that.
And really, they were just upset that she did post it because I'm sure they got plenty of backlash on it. But, I mean, that was really the point of the suspension or whatever.
That's what's really real.
Right, People came for them for real, which, even with this is a testament to this is only the beginning. Of like, you're not wearing masks, not enforcing it. Some schools have started, not all as of yet. And as we continue that they start, it is not something that I would like to see. I'm so not hoping for that. I wish for the best, but I'm like, if this is the bar, then that's what we're going with right now. That some people can enforce and some people, they choose not to. Okay.
I'm actually not surprised, really, and it's sad to say, but I mean, it's the education system that gives 8th grade, 7th graders baby dolls to teach them how to raise children versus, a class about taxes or something. So,
or budgets. I'm
actually not surprised.
Lame. Look, I'm just...
But I digress. So, while we're on the subject of audacity, can we please talk about Amber Geiger? Okay, so... do you both remember Mr. Botham Jean? So he was a man who was murdered in his own home. Mm-hmm. And this officer, Amber Geiger, former police officer, her story throughout the trial was that, she thought it was her apartment. She saw someone sitting on the couch and she shot thinking it was a burglar, right? Turns out it was his apartment. There were things indicating that she should have noticed it was not her apartment. There were all these other holes in the story of this man's untimely murder. However, she was arrested. She was charged with 10 years for murder. Her lawyer, and this is where the audacity comes in, is filing an appeal asking for a lesser charge. The audacity, okay? The utter audacity.
I have to laugh to keep from crying or doing something else, but I shouldn't.
I just kind of feel like, write it out, baby girl. Write it out. It's okay. You'll survive. Someone else didn't, but you will.
My.
I just don't understand. I don't understand that. Like, you want a lesser charge for murder. That's what we're doing these days. Okay,
girl.
You did it, and we know you did it. But okay.
How about you said you did it? How about that? You even said you did it, and you said your intent was to harm whomever was inside of your apartment, the shadowy figure, as she quoted, that was inside your apartment. So regardless of whoever you thought it was, you knew what was going down. You wasn't shooting for a kneecap, boo. But okay.
So what's the grounds for the lesser charge?
I do not know.
Okay.
I do not know, but I will be waiting to find out.
How long has she served so far?
When did this happen? 2000 and let's take a look. See, this happened 2018. She'll be all right.
Wow.
This happened in 2000. She will be all right. She ain't even got acquainted with her cellmates yet. She'll be
You
okay.
know what now?
I don't even care. She didn't even
I got
supposed to get a cool nickname and all that. She ain't get none of that.
What you say? I need Vanessa to calm down. Did you say that used to be your alter? I need her to scale back a bit. Look on this.
Right. We sorry. You got it.
Oh my. Okay.
Okay. So we all know it's a parent's job to protect their children, right? That is like, protect us, feed us, buy us a car when we're 16. That's basically the rules of parenthood. So,
love how you threw that in there, but go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Vroom, vroom.
Woo!
So, Hasbro's a popular toy company, but apparently they have this Poppy Trolls doll from the movie Trolls, which is a very popular movie. A parent on Facebook recorded some of the new features on her child's Poppy doll. So the box advertises that when you push the doll's stomach, she says fun phrases from the movie. The mom, upon inspecting the child, discovered that there was another button on the toy's bottom area, and when you press it, it makes other sounds that sound a little too adult-like, if you know what I mean. And so she was irate, which she has every right to be, because, you give your children toys, and that's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be things that kind of fuel their imagination and allow them to kind of be like, hey, this is a wonderful life. And she got something from a whole nother world. So Hasbro spokeswoman, her name is Julie Duffy, she put out a statement saying that the toy was designed to react when the doll was seated, and that's why that little button was there, even though there's nothing about the button on the box itself. But that's what the statement says. And she did go ahead and say that they recognize the placement of the sensor may be perceived as inappropriate, and she followed the statement by saying that it was unintentional of Hasbro to, put anything on that kind of seems a little suspect, and that Hasbro will be happy to get those customers who purchased the doll replacement.
But I really want a replacement after that.
Yeah.
What about a refund? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Do I get the coins back?
No word on that yet.
Yeah, that would be the thing. And then this is my thing when I just heard you say that. So why did it have to be the sounds that were inappropriate? Like, even if it was on the bottom, could it be a pooping sound or something? Like, why does it have to be? Why did the button have to be inappropriate sounds? If y'all want to even justify that, like, y'all don't even have a reason as to why you did that, and then the sounds are inappropriate.
It makes no sense.
I mean, even if you said, well, she sat down and, she had to use the, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I'm with Destiny on that. Just give me a refund. We're good. Like, that's what y'all need to be talking about, instead of we going to replace with something that's not,
I'd rather when she sit on her bottom a song come out.
Well, this could be the case. Exactly. Yeah. They could have done something a bit better. Come on now. And I'm like, who's on the, see, there you go again. Who's on y'all board? Like, who is approving that? Like, whoever helped to do that? Like, nobody was a parent that said, you know what? That might be perceived wrong. Nobody said that. No, I mean, nobody on whole Hasbro, on their whole squad, nobody thought like, that might not go too well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's get into some Black excellence, y'all.
Please.
All right. So there's something called the Atlanta-based Harvard Diversity Project, right? And it's a debate team, which I think is really dope because, I love when Black children can get together and articulate their arguments and stuff other than just saying, "'cause I said so." So this team actually has won the, listen to this, international. Understand? Not just national. International. Their passport got stamps. They won the international debate competition for the 1, 2, third year in a row.
Hey.
Okay?
Nice.
Something.
We see you.
Amazing.
That's great. I mean, but can we just talk about how, because I said so is an argument? I mean, I know it might not be, international debate competition worthy, but it is an argument.
It's an argument till your parents use it against you, then it's not. It ain't no argument.
Wait a minute.
Love it.
I mean,
No, I love it.
I feel like an argument because I said so has to fly. Like there's no comeback for that.
Okay, well, I mean, hey, if you like it, I love it, sis. I need receipts. In honor of Whitney, I need receipts, okay?
Woo.
So, and of course, speaking of the late, great legend, today is the day that Whitney Houston was born.
Yes.
Houston, you know she's the bomb.com. Check out her website, okay?
Yes. Happy Cake Day, Queen.
And if y'all don't know anything about Miss Humphrey, she loves her. Whitney.
I do. I really do.
She's amazing. Like, I remember she had the show. One of my favorite things, I will never forget about the show. I was watching it. I wasn't supposed to, but I was watching it. And the fan kept bothering her while she was trying to eat. And when he looked at her, she said, "No, I don't want to take a picture. I'm eating." And she's like, "But you're a celebrity." She goes, "No, I'm a person first and I'm eating." And I love it. I'm like,
see, that's that, and I love, that's that fellow Leo, you know what I mean? Like, that's how you do. Like, I don't mind, I can be loving and all of that. However, if I set these boundaries, don't, you know what I'm saying? Just be mindful. So, because you are human first, I think, and I know we talked about that even once before, how sometimes people can get away from treating you as such, as it relates to being a celebrity, so to speak. So I'm glad that she, I'm sure she did it in the most polite way.
Like only the diva can.
And yes.
And proceeded to eat her chicken wing.
And yes. Love you, Whitney.
Energy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's for y'all Leos and Whitney lovers, Yeah, just for y'all.
Shout out to us.
Ba-da-ba. Like, what? Amanda Seals. Oh, I love it. Whew.
Oh, my goodness.
So go ahead, Miss Destiny. Take us on in, dear.
So silly, and I love that. So today, as you may have gathered from Miss Humphrey giving you the topic earlier, we're talking about healing in many different ways. We're talking about generational healing, healing from expectations that weren't met, healing from not being able to own who you are in the fullest without somebody telling you you can't, basically. So those are our talking points today, and I think these are really great things because when people hear healing, I don't think they think about all these things. Healing can sometimes be boxed into trauma from different situations, but there are so many different aspects of life that some people need healing from, and so I think this is going to be an important topic today. So, Miss Humphrey, take it away.
All right. Nisa, you got us?
Yeah.
With our fact or fiction.
Let's definitely start with fact or fiction. I'm going to say 2 words, and y'all just tell me if y'all think fact or fiction. Generational curses.
Fact.
Fact. What makes it fact for y'all?
Well, I wouldn't, even though I believe in generational curses, I also believe that we can really call it like generational cycles or generational patterns. Because, what starts here, if it's not broken or there's not a change being made at that point, it continues to go on because you're taught from the person who has those harmful patterns. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that you can only give what you've been given. You can only teach what you've been taught. And so if nobody has made an effort to change that, or nobody recognizes that there needs to be a change, that it continues to go on and it becomes something that pops up, with every generation that comes. So that's my words on that.
I like that.
Yeah. No, I love the way you explain that, because it is true about it being more so generational cycles, and they can go either way. Like it can be, if you want to look at it as a curse, so to speak, or you also can have a blessing, where just like Destiny said, when you break the cycle, then you have the opportunity to then create what you desire to create. That's for the better of the bloodline, the better of generations to come. And sometimes it is you. Then you're the one who is assigned to then break the cycle for the next generations to come. So I say it's true because I've experienced it. I've also seen it in other people and in their families, but also within my family have seen where certain things have been broken and have allowed to then become cycles that are more so a blessing to the family. And then release the things that no longer serve. So yeah.
Nice. I like that. No, I definitely agree. And I like how you switched it up, Destiny, from like being curses to cycles. Because the curse, just the whole idea of it and like the meaning of it is something that's ill and ill-intended. So I definitely like how you switched that up, because a cycle can be broken. A curse takes a lot. Y'all haven't seen the movies. You got to go through a lot to get rid of a curse. So I like that for sure.
And it can be done,
Oh,
I mean, it definitely can be done.
absolutely. I like that. So in honor of our lovely, lovely, lovely Destiny McCarter and her birthday, which was on Friday, we thought it was important to discuss something that, I don't think it's something that's ever been discussed in my household or like my friends' households from what we've discussed. So we'll call it legal and laws. So when we turn 18, we think we grown because we probably got the car, we out of high school. You may have a little boo thing that might be half financing your lifestyle, So now you grown. The thing about it is that in the Black community, we seem to think that, or our parents seem to think that, okay, you really are grown. Now what are you going to do with yourself? Because you can't stay here anymore. So why is it once you turn 18, it's like, it seems as though in the Black community, we are quick to just tell our kids, all right, you got to go. I don't know where you're going, but you can't stay here. I did my job and it's done now. Like, what is that? And I don't know, like, as a child, I can't speak on it because I don't have any children, but why is that a thing?
I'm not sure with that, like, where that started. Because even for me, that wasn't the case, like, even with my mother. When it, you know what I mean? Like, when I went to school and, I went on to college, like, after high school. So I don't know. So, and I didn't do that to either one of my children. Or even, now I have my 17-year-old. But I didn't do that. And that's not the option for her. Like, that's if she wants to, then, we can prepare for that. But my thing would be, like, that's not something that I experienced, nor have I put on my children to experience. Because you got to equip them. I feel like, I get the whole, like, 18 is kind of like you go to the Army, go to college, you get a job or something. That's kind of, I've heard those options. And I can't tell you where it comes from, even in being a parent. I have heard that, and I'm thinking, when we talk about K through 12 with school, we've talked about this before, they are not prepared to, unless you're preparing outside of that. You know what I mean? With your children, that you're equipping them and saying, okay, do X, Y, and Z. And they're not prepared for that. To just, you just 18 and you just out, like, make it happen. What can they sign? A contract, I think, maybe. Like, you can sign a contract, but you can't, like, that's just turned 21. Okay, like, you're legal, so to speak. But it's like, so what, do you stop needing assistance? And not so much just you taking care of me. Like, yes, I can get part-time job, or, you can get certain things to assist the family and also to assist you towards your goals, in addition to going to college or however you want to do it. But what can you really do at 18 like that, just on your own with no assistance?
Yeah.
I mean, it's rare. I get it. Some people can, some people say, well, it is some people, even before that, they're out on their own or whatever. I'm just saying, are we setting them up to succeed or fail? That's the question I have.
Yeah, I think that's like my main thing with this topic is like, at 18, what do you really have that you've been set up for life outside of your parents' house? Because I think like when we're in the house, we're really kind of coddled in some ways. Like, we're not really talking about those things that we are going to have to face as young adults. We don't, like, especially in schools, they don't really cover topics that we really need to cover when we get into young adulthood. And then when we get out here and we're on our own, it's like, wait, hold on, we didn't talk about this. What is this? And why didn't we talk about this before? And I think I just wish we did more preparing for like real life situations, especially in schools, so that even if our parents were like, okay, well, you got to be up out of here, we can stand on our own 2 feet in some aspects. Like, maybe we can't do everything and we'll still need their permission, like signing stuff. We can sustain our life if we can't be in the house. You know what I'm saying? But I do think parents should kick their 18-year-olds out because we don't know nothing. We don't know just what. Because all we've been taught is how to find the, whatever for X.
Yeah, the hypotenuse of the squares area 3 times over with the invisible eye.
Find the main idea of this passage and create an essay about why this main idea is the first main idea for this book or this passage.
Okay, donde está el baño? That's it.
Read the author's mind and tell us why it's intended for this type of response.
And the thing is, you would have some people to say, well, whatever they're not learning in school is the parents' responsibility. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, yes, that parents are not responsible for different things. But what about if that parent is not equipped? Like, you have some kids, their escape is school. And that's kind of, where they learn whatever they learn. And so if it's not we say it should take a village. If different people are not allowed to the kids are not allowed to even be around different people who could assist them, they're at a disadvantage anyway. If you already don't have, or even if your parents don't know. I'm a parent who, if I don't know, then I try to get information. And so I may not be able to give you that answer, but then I'll point you in the direction to someone who can assist you. You know what I mean? But not all parents know that or have, had those examples. It's just, it could be at a disadvantage for the young people. So that whole K through 12 recently, just learning even more about what that really is. But okay, I'm going to let that go.
I don't know. I guess my thing about it is like, and it's with all respect to those who have like had to get it on their own since 14, 15. Because I have friends like that. I have friends who've been on their own since they were 12. I have friends who've emancipated themselves for all types of situations. I have friends who've done that. You know what I'm saying? And I've been very independent since I was like 14. I've been a very independent child. Just always has been. But I think the issue comes in is that parents don't realize that, like, let's say, for instance, I'm 26, so my parents were born somewhere around the 60s and that, you know what I mean? So they don't realize, like, if you have parents born in that time frame, they don't realize that the cost of living is not the same as it was coming up in the 70s, the 80s, or even the 90s or early 2000s. Like, it's a whole different world out here. It's way more dangerous. It's way more gritty. It's hard for these young people to come across things that were so much more readily available as it was back then, because the economy has taken a drastic turn. So while you may see an adult and you see, okay, but at 18 I had this and I was doing this on my own, your child sees themselves as a child whose only responsibility for the last 4 years of high school was sports and grades. Because every time they try to help out or something, you tell them, you a kid and your only responsibility is sports and grades. But then 18 comes and you're telling them, okay, the world is yours. I'll see you at Christmas time. And it's like, how am I supposed to succeed with that if I know that you don't even have my back? And then what happens to you as you go on further into adulthood? Like, that has to play on your inner, like, your mental cannot be that strong. Like, it has to be something inside of you that kind of cracks a little bit when you hear, okay, where are you about to be living? Or when you're 18, you know you have to go. Like, your inner child has to scream out at some point, like, well, dang, what's going on?
And Nisaa, I want to ask you, so, like you said, for you, 14 was kind of your period where as far as really, stepping out then, or just saying, I'm independent, right? What goes into that? Like, say, even at 14, what is the makings of a child to even become that? So say maybe not at 14, but you say 18, right? What does a child really need, or a young person really need, to become that and really be successful? Not so much just out on your own, but where you have that independence and I know we're always fighting for that all along the way. Like, I mean, every day, a lot of times it is some kids, they may rebel for different reasons because they do want to make certain decisions on their own, but it doesn't mean I want to make all the decisions. It just means, like, can I have freedom of a few things maybe? So, and I know that it's loaded, but I'm just saying, like, to hear you say that, hey, at this time, this is what I did. What helped create that atmosphere? And then with you doing that, what went into it? Almost like a recipe. Like, what happened and helped you to become that person at 14?
I mean, I was always pretty independent. Like, for those of y'all who don't know, I have 9 brothers, okay? And it's me. And then there was always, like, a cousin or someone who stayed with us at some point. Like, my mom literally it takes a village. My mother has raised the village for real. And so with me being the second oldest, like, I learned pretty early, like, you got to kind of get it. Like, you got to kind of do or pick up, what's kind of left behind. Otherwise, you'll get lost in the shuffle of things. And at 14... I was a freshman in high school, and I just remember, like, there was stuff that I wanted that I knew wasn't as accessible because it was a house full of kids, and, you got to make things do what they do. And I remember just knowing that I had to know how to speak up for myself. I know my mom has always taught me, like, she's always tried to be a financial guru to me. So she's always been like, okay, you can make your money, but how are you spending it? So at 14, I was doing, like, little art projects and selling them at her mosque and, like, just, little bake sale stuff and stuff like that. Or I would, like, put on little shows in my room and charge my brother to watch my little Barbie doll show. But what really, my mindset really was like, okay, I guess it was like, you can't disappear. Like, you have to make sure, like, that you're, like, if you're gonna be, I don't want to say emotionally independent. If you're going to be emotionally independent, you have to be able to stand on your own too. So that came with knowing how to articulate how I was feeling a way and why I was feeling a certain type of way. Because, like I said, you can get lost in the shuffle. So it's like, hey, y'all don't see me, y'all don't hear me right now, but this is what's bothering me. It came with learning about what was going on in the world. I had to be informed because I was always trying to be up and on the go, and I was always on the go. And it came with growing very thick skin to a lot of stuff. And I'm still growing thick skin, of course, because, the world changes. But it came with, like, having my thick skin, always making sure I have a reply and come back, always being ready for whatever at any point. And just really knowing that, like, at the end of the day, it's me and it's God. Like, I love my family to death. I know they guide me if anything's wrong, but it's me and God. And I have to carry that with me because with so much going on in everybody else's world, who's going to look out for Nisaa?
Yeah, no, it's good. And Destiny, for you, just at 18, if you could talk to a young person, what would you say to them to help them prepare? Like, say right then, this is what their parents told them. Yeah, you have to go do this, this, and this.
I mean, it's hard at 18 because you have very limited options, it seems like. Because if you're not at college, what seems to be the only other option is to get a job, But I would say don't wait until 18 to be coming up with a plan. Even if you know that your parents are going to have your back, don't wait to be 18 and to be out on the street to start planning what you want to do, because that's where I messed up. Not to say that my parents put me out, but before I went to college, I was not really coming up with a plan financially or any other way. And so when I got there, I was looking real crazy and I didn't last. And so, like, you have to be, as Ms. Humphrey told me earlier last year, you have to be proactive and not reactive. And that's going to help a lot. Like, start thinking about what do you like to do? Make a likes and dislikes list. And I know that can sometimes be hard because you're still learning yourself at 18, but you just want to have like a guide for where you want to go. Like, what do you value? What are your non-negotiables in some situations? Where is the money going to come from? If you're looking at going to school, what is your financial plan? Like, what scholarships are you going to apply for? How much financial aid are you going to be able to get? Are you going to apply for loans? How are you going to pay for those loans? Do you need to get a job now to start preparing? Those are the type of things that you do have to think about, because even though your family's going to be there, you do want to start trying to make sure that you can add value to spaces that you're in and not just be a leech or freeload off of people, because that gets tiring eventually. So you just have to show people that you're putting forth an effort to do something, and they'll be willing to help you. I believe that, because that's happened for me. Like, when I showed initiative, when I showed that I was really trying to make stuff happen and I wasn't just waiting around for life to happen, people were they are willing, and they were willing to help me move forward. And so that's what I would say.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, both of you have dropped some major gems, for our young people. And that's the thing. I mean, having a plan and this, and it's more so investing in yourself.
Yeah.
It's not about or trying to outdo or show other people. That's not it. It's you. Are you going to invest in you? Because you owe you that much. You owe you that much. Not about anybody else. You owe you. So whatever that looks like, I mean, that would be my thing. Don't just exist. I think that for me, it's not doing you any good, and definitely no one else around you who is having to, I guess, to take care of you. Like you were just saying, Destiny, like that weight, it's like, are they having to carry this weight? Like, you can carry your own, So, yeah.
I think that that's it. I love what you said, like, do that research, find that out, because college, really, you don't know about college until you go. Because when it was time for me to go, I knew nothing. I knew nothing about a credit. I didn't understand. All I knew was that I was 30 minutes away from home, and I was finally, that's all I knew. But when it came to, like, applying and finding schools and all of that, I did it on my own. I had the help of one lady from the library who took pity on my poor little self, because I had no idea what I was doing. And when I got there, like you said, I bombed big time. Freshman year, that was all she wrote. I left my mark on ODU, but I bombed. I left my mark, but I bombed. And that's to say, like, college may not be your path, right? I'm not saying you have to go to college, but there are trade schools,
Yes.
We have so many wonderful, innovative young people. Find something that you love to do.
Yes.
And do it. Why not literally get paid to do what you love to do? Like, it's not, nobody says you have to have a 4-year degree to do it.
Yeah.
But find something you love to do and do it. And enjoy it. That way, every day you go to work, it doesn't feel like you're waking up to make someone else's money. That way you thrive in it. Because that's really when you reach your best level, is when you're doing what you're put here to do. And you'll know it because everything that you touch will literally be blessed in abundance. That's when you know you're fulfilling your life's purpose. Like, you're here for a reason. It wasn't on accident. Regardless of what people may joke and tell you, it wasn't an accident. You're here for a purpose. Find it. If it's not college, it could be technical school. If it's not that, you might just be the next radio host. You might just be the next person to invent the flying car that swims underwater. Who knows?
Yeah.
But invest in yourself and do it, like Destiny said, early, so that when 18 comes, if it comes knocking harshly, that you're prepared.
And you can actually, with even internships, into what you love to do. And it could be, say if you do a gap year, you don't want to go straight to college and you want to do an internship. It doesn't have to be a free internship. You can actually get paid internships out here. Or in some ways, create your own opportunities. And I'm big on, I set the intent every day. I'm like, I'm the creator of my own reality. I believe that. I believe that's what you have to put forth. And you walk in it, and nothing is just going to happen by happenstance. It does take you having faith, and you putting forth that effort. It is what it is. And that is a saying. You said that once before, and it's in the Bible, but faith without works is dead. And that is true. Like, you can't just say, oh, I believe this is so, and it's the name it, claim it, and it just manifests. I believe you can have those thoughts. You can also put things in place, and then you move towards that. But you cannot just be like, oh, it's going to happen because I want it. I think, I don't know, you just can't do it that way. So I'm saying, just like y'all both are saying, like, you don't have to follow a particular path. However, whatever path you're going to create, like, own it and do it. Like, go in that direction, whatever that looks like for you. And I think my biggest thing is, don't do it for somebody else, because I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. And I'm saying, initially starting out, when it was like, oh, this is where I'm going to go into, I'm going to do this, because I didn't know any better. I graduated with an advanced academic diploma. Really and truly, I should have had scholarships from different places. If you look at it now, with kids, but I wasn't in a sport necessarily or whatever, or maybe, I couldn't even tell you what that was like with the counseling. I don't want to blame anybody. But my thing is, I went to college at first, but I really wasn't prepared for that. And that's just being honest about it. I wasn't initially prepared. I was just like, what is really good? Like, this is different from high school. This is not the same, because you can go to class, not go to class. You could, I remember getting a first D, and it's like, dude, graded on the curve. It was in psychology. I'm like, what is this? Like, really? So, but I went into it like general studies. I didn't necessarily have, I just knew that, it was understood that you're going to go to college type thing. And it wasn't a plan though. I didn't see a blueprint, where it was like, or have that, and I don't blame, that's why I said I don't blame anybody. Clearly that my folks didn't know, or the school, or however, whatever, it wasn't how it is now. And I think that's my thing with the young people. Now you have too many outlets, whereas 20 some years ago, that's not what we necessarily had. So now take advantage. You have platforms, that you can create content. We've talked about that. We're doing this now, even with the podcast. It was an idea as far as us, the three of us getting together. How that came an idea. I came to you all, and this is what we manifested. Do you see how simple that is when you actually come to an agreement, and then you put action forward, and then you manifest and do what you got to do to make it happen? So I'm saying something as simple as an idea. It's like, what are you going to do with it? And then I feel like when you start moving in that path, different things that are supposed to be connected, I believe that happens. Whatever you need, it begins to, as you're moving forward. it manifests. People, places, things. I just know I know that to be true through experience as well. So I'm saying, but that took me some time to learn that. I didn't know that back then. And I'm like, now don't just let, it's too much out here. It's too many opportunities that are here. You don't have to get all of them. So I don't say go grabbing, because you can be a jack of all trade, master of none. So don't do that. Grab you a path, go down that path, and watch what then manifests for you. So yeah, that's my TED Talk. I love saying that with Destiny.
Hell yeah.
That's Destiny has coined that. So that's my TED Talk. Look.
I like that. And this is one more thing that I think is important. Please don't think that at 18 you're going to have it all together.
Yes.
Because you won't even have it all together by the time you make it to 21. And I think that's such a thing that's out there right now. Like, if you don't have it together by this time or that time, like, you're doing it wrong. No. Life is a marathon, not a sprint.
Come on.
You're gonna have so many twists and turns, so many ups and downs. Things are going to change. You're going to change.
Yes.
Like, what you want out of life is going to change. And so your path will change. And that is okay. Like, there is no specific time where you have to have things together.
Right
and
now.
Because you will break yourself down setting expectations like that. And, like, once you get to a certain point where you didn't reach that expectation, now you're depressed. And now you're freaking out. And it's unnecessary. It's an unnecessary pressure on you. And so just, even adults who are like 30, 40 years old, they don't have it all together.
Come on now. I'm just saying.
Bro, like, you're growing.
We do not.
You figure some stuff out, but it'll never be complete because things change. And then you have to adapt again. So just know that, because I think that's one of those pressures where I see a lot on social media where it's like, I felt like at this point I should have been having this, and this, or I keep forgetting that I'm only 21 and I'm just because I don't have this, and this. Like, yeah, like, you won't, and it's okay. You might have to stay with your mom until you get to a certain point, and that's okay. Like, that's fine. You don't have to have your dream job at 18, 19, 20, 21. You might even have your dream job at 25, and that's okay.
Yes, good stuff.
As long as you're moving in a direction, you're going to be fine. As long as you're continuing to evolve and grow and to learn more about yourself, you're going to be fine. I promise.
This is facts. Yeah, that's good stuff.
She literally moved us into the next part. Like, 30 is the new 20. And it's like Destiny said, do not let social media or society trick you into thinking that you're supposed to be on some fast track to success. She said life is a marathon, not a sprint. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like to run, so I'm taking my time. Okay?
I'm with you.
Not your time, I'm taking my time. Because at the end of the day, it really is about that. And social media, as entertaining as it can be, it can really have an impact on your self-defeating spirit. And I say self-defeating because nobody can tell you you're defeated. Like, when God put you here, he didn't say you was defeated at all. You know what I mean? And it's something about seeing other people's dreams come true in their timing that make us feel as though, regardless of where we are, our age differences, or any of that, it makes us think, well, why aren't I there? Why don't I have that? Why don't I write music? Baby, you don't even like music. You a dancer, or you're a writer. Why are you worried about people building cars? That's not your gift. You know what I mean? So don't make someone else's success feel like your failure. That's not what it is at all. Take it as a shout to them. Good job to them. And then maybe, I don't know, connect with that person and see what you can learn. See what you might teach them.
This is true.
I think that's super important, because if you don't have that, then you're not honoring your presence on this earth. And that is so dangerous when you're growing up. It's dangerous to your self-esteem. It's dangerous to your lifespan. It's just very dangerous to your creative thinking. It's very harmful. And I think it's important for the young people to know, especially with like depression running rampant, because people are indoors now more. I think it's so important that they know, like, other people's timing is not your timing, okay? You better act like they're on the other side of the country and their day is your night and your night is their day. It doesn't always happen in a row. It doesn't always happen just because your best friend got it don't mean it's coming to you right now. There may be some lessons you still have to learn. And think about it. If you get it now, you're not going to appreciate it, because what have you done to earn it?
Right.
You'll mishandle it. Like, you really, really just take the time, go through your journey, take your deep breaths when you need it, and then when you get what is yours, you can enjoy it to the fullest.
And I think 20 years ago, like where I was at that time till now, and people say, oh, well, you're younger and you get to do this, and this. And I've said this before, and I continue to say it because it's a reminder even of myself, just to remind myself. But when I said I'm the most happy and most free that I've been in my life, that's really truly the case. And plus, I think about, and I don't say it to be cocky when I say, like, I've been in conversations with people, but, especially if they try to come for me or something like that. But it's like, check my record. Like, I'm just like, you could check, like, what I've done. If you want to look at it, look at what I have done throughout this time. And I have to also remind myself, look at what has been done and what you've been allowed to be a part of, what you've been blessed to do and all that, and really be okay with that within yourself. Like, I'm not competing. I always say I'm competing with the old me. I'm trying to stun on the old me. Like, that's really what I say, because it's not about looking at other people. And I have to be mindful of things like when I am on social media, that I'm not comparing. That it is like, if I see certain stuff and if something hits me wrong or it tries to stir up something, it's either I'm gonna make sure like I'm not following that person, or, I just get up off of it, because I'm just like, you can't, look at all that stuff and think like it can't get inside of you. Like, you really have to have your boundaries though. So what to put into your mind and, what to feed your body as well. So, just that soul food both ways. But yeah, I'm grateful now. I feel like I have, the different things that I've wanted to accomplish. Like, I really am on the track to even do more. Like, this is not just it at this stage in my life. I'm really like, wow, I'm looking forward to what else is to come. Because I feel like now I have a rhythm versus maybe what I did even 20 years ago, So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Because I'm like Miss Humphrey, you said 20 years ago. I'm in my 20s now. And I'm telling y'all right now, this is the build year, okay? Your 20s, regardless of what they tell you and regardless of what you thought from all the shows, or by 20, I'll be married with the kid in the house and the dog. 20 is your build, selfish, fun years, okay? That's exactly what it's for. I done learned a lot of lessons. I done had a lot of hurts. I done took some L's. I done bounced back. I done been to therapy time and time again. I done quit therapy, went back. I done made new and wonderful friends, even though I'm not the most let's go meet everybody and bring everybody into your life type of person. And I have learned so much about myself that at 26, I'm happier than I would have ever thought I would be.
That's
regardless
good.
of people going, oh, but you're not married, you don't have this, you don't have that. First of all, marriage is not the contender for all happiness. I don't care who tells you it is.
This is facts.
And it can make you miserable. Second of all, you don't have children. I know I don't have children. I don't need a tax write-off right now. I have my own tax write-off.
Wait a minute, Destiny, what's up with
She over there preaching, how they church and they standing at the preacher because he's talking really good. That's what that was. I'm playing.
Love it.
I just feel like that's so important, because you get that a lot in your early 20s. Well, where's your husband? Girl, I don't know. God ain't manifested him yet. Give him time. He's working out all his kinks, okay?
And then let him heal.
Okay.
My thing is, don't bring him to you unhealed. Like, or you want it to happen so quick that it's like you got trauma you need to work through. And especially if you worked on yours and it's like this person hasn't. And so my thing is like, come on now. Come on. Let it be, because you don't want to be years in it. Back before, maybe some of our ancestors, they stayed in certain situations that was not favorable for them. And they did what they felt they needed to do. So I'm saying in this season, to young people, do what's good for you. And it's a way for you to, I feel like, be about yourself and not be selfish. That's all I'm saying. There is a difference.
Absolutely. I call them my selfish years. So I do personally, because it's about Nisa. Well, what about, oh no, I'm not worth this about Nisa.
Right.
Nisa's gonna travel. Nisa's gonna do this. Because Nisa wants to. And Nisa spent a lot of time doing a lot of stuff for other folks. So in her 20s, Nisa is going to enjoy them. Catch me around the bend. I don't got no children. I ain't tied down in that. No.
Please do. Nope. Both of you, enjoy yourselves.
I'm auntie.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nova.
You can always give them back.
Yes, absolutely. With a full diaper and a full stomach, here's your baby.
Love y'all. See you next time.
It can be so hard to find like your group for selfish, because as you're growing up, people are telling you to share and don't be selfish and yada yada, and they don't teach you how to take care of yourself while giving to other people.
Yeah.
And that's important.
It is.
As we say a lot, like you can't pour from an empty cup, and so it's like I can't live my life to please other people.
Absolutely.
And we can get caught up in that. We can get caught up because I'm having to heal from that myself, wanting to follow everybody else's expectations for me, because your family, they have ideas about where you should be. And even though it's in the purest intentions, they love you, they care about you, and they only want what's best. Sometimes their paths are projections of things that they went through. And if they got hurt on a certain path, and even though they want to protect you, that might not be your same story.
Yeah, good.
And you have to, you can take it, you can take that advice, but don't let it write the story for you before you've had a chance to go down that path. Like, their story is not your story. We're different people, and we have different experiences, and our paths, they might not even be parallel paths. Like, we could be going in total opposite directions, and that's okay, because we're not here to do the same thing.
That's right.
We're connected to the same experiences. We're not connected to the same people, and that's okay. Like, we have to learn how to respect people's paths and not project our expectations onto people, so that they have an opportunity to be who they're supposed to be. Because the worst thing you can do is to become this person that you were never intended to be. You don't want to happen to stuff that you never needed to experience because you were following somebody else's path.
Exactly. That's good.
That's miserable. Like, if I want to be a Broadway singer, but I decided to follow my father's advice about becoming a lawyer, do you know how miserable I would be? That don't, it doesn't work. And so just make sure you're honoring yourself in your journey. If you know that you love to read and you want to do reviews and you want to write, please honor that. And don't let somebody tell you that because they don't make all this money, that that's not the path you should take. Money isn't everything. Peace of mind, hey, that'll take you somewhere. So that's that on that.
And the thing is I'm learning even about money. Money is a tool, right? But abundance, it comes in many forms as it relates to abundance. So I'm not saying don't have the tool now. I'm not saying not to attract that to you. I'm saying when I think about abundance, I think about spiritually, mentally, socially, financially, physically, emotionally, and energetically. Like when I'm talking about abundance, we're talking about the whole of it and not just some cash in my hand. Because somebody else may have what I need and they decide to drop, something towards me. And I not necessarily have had to, have it myself. You know what I mean? So it's, the happiness for me is what's important. And that is a question that I ask my children often. I say, are you happy? Because that to me is, that's how you gauge it. I don't want you to gauge it based on, are you doing what other people think? Or even if people are asking you questions, that, like you just said, projecting what they desire. Well, what are you planning for this? Are you, what you doing after such? I don't have to tell you that because I may not know. And I think that's a fair answer for young people. Like they don't have to say, well, oh, this is what I'm going to do. When people say, what you doing when you graduate? Okay. I got a year, really. I'm not saying that I shouldn't be planning, like y'all was saying earlier, not to plan towards it. But I don't feel like you have to have all the answers. This is August. If you're going into your senior year right now, you don't have to have that all mapped out. So, yeah.
That's good stuff. And I think it's also important to remember, like Destiny, you were talking about the projecting. It's important to remember that on your journey to being your very best self, it's important to remember that hurt people hurt people. And sometimes our parents or our elders or whomever have raised us or been around us, they've experienced things that they haven't healed from, that they don't know it's okay to talk about, that they don't know it's okay to let go of. And so when they project or when they sometimes lash out, it's not you. And that doesn't mean that you're letting anybody down. If you go for you, it doesn't mean that you are disappointing anybody. It does not mean that you are a disappointment. It simply means that because whomever they may be does not have what it takes right now to heal themselves, they can't see your future. But again, it's yours. It's your vision, your goal. It's not for them to see. That's like giving them your glasses and telling them to read something with your prescription. Y'all got different eyesight. So don't ever let what anybody says, good, bad, super ugly, mom, dad, uncle, niece, I don't care who it is. If it's your vision and you see it and it's what you want, do it. I don't care if you want to go be Mr. Big Top at the Universal Circus. You go and I'll buy the peanuts and see you next year. Do it. Yeah. Straight like that. Straight like that. I mean, and it kind of goes into the next thing. Selfish or self-care. Is there a line? Y'all thinking. They got their thinking faces, y'all.
I think when people say selfish, there's a negative connotation of selfish, because I do think there is a time to be selfish, but there's also a time to care about other people. And, the line can be very thin sometimes. It can, because it's like, how do I, but, both are important, It's important to care about people, but it's also important to care about yourself, because I'm not trying to be too church on y'all, but
girl, it's Sunday.
The scriptures tells you to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And so if you aren't clear on how to love yourself, how in the world are you going to be able to love your neighbor? And that's just because you treat people, at least I believe you treat people out of the well of how you treat yourself. So if you can't be kind to you, if you can't respect you, if you can't tend to your needs, it's going to be really, really hard for you to do any of that for anybody else. And that's yeah.
And that's your TED Talk? I love it. I pulled up Miss Humphrey. I pulled up some definitions here because she'll do that in a heartbeat, and I love it. So selfish is defined as lacking consideration for others, concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure, similar to being egocentric, right? Self-care is the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health. And so I think there's the difference between the two, but people allow the two to get tossed up in the same area. Because self-care says, again, taking action to preserve or improve one's own health. And the first rule of life is self-preservation. So therefore, the first rule of life is telling me to practice self-care. And if you don't want me to, then you're being selfish, which means you're lacking consideration for me and our mothers.
Well, if those are the two choices, I mean, you think about the definitions and what's behind it. I mean, I definitely would choose self-care of the two, because the other is looked at as negative, you know. And I agree, you know, with Destiny saying there's a fine line there. But it's almost like the word when people say stubborn or strong-willed. I don't like stubborn, because every time somebody uses stubborn, along with when people say selfish, it's negative about it. But I usually say strong will. And I say that because I've had to correct people, even with my daughter when she was growing up. You know, I mean, she was strong will. She really was. She gets in a mixture, I feel like, of both me and her dad. But the stubborn, I would be like, no, she's not stubborn, like she's strong willed. I just think it is different, because when you look at one, it's perceived as negative, and then the other is different, right? So if I had to choose, if we're saying to choose, I'm going to choose self-care over selfish any day. And I think that there is a line, but I have to be willing to, and I always talk boundaries, I do, because I have to be willing to create those. There was a time when I didn't, and then I gave so much of me that I lost sight of me. So who was I benefiting? And I just think that I'm never going to, from this point, like as in the years that I've learned more about self-care, I'm never going to make an excuse for me taking care of myself. And it's not me, and me taking care of myself is helping me with the people around me. Like they'll know how to treat me. Even for me, I'll know what I have the capacity to hold and what I do not. I just think that it is about that evolution. And it's like, I'm not going to apologize for that anymore, because I did enough of that by in some ways not saying something when I should, or if I did, I appeased. You know, it was a people pleasing type situation. And so I think when you come into the knowledge of what it is for real, and it is about you learning and taking care of you first, so that you can even give to whatever you are connected to. Because there are certain things, people, places, and things that we are assigned to, I feel like, on our journey. But in order for me to, I think, to interact properly, I do have to be in alignment. And I'm not able to do that if I'm not taking care of myself. Like, I mean, that's how I think it's just a full circle situation.
Yeah, I always think about it as, I love this analogy. When you get on the airplane, the lovely stewardess, after she's wiped your arm seats and your seatbelt.
Oh my! Look,
she comes to you and she says, "If the plane is to go down, an oxygen mask will drop from overhead. Please put your mask on before helping anyone else." Life is about, regardless of how you may feel, what you may have been taught, the reality is life is about making sure that your mask is on first. Because God forbid you suffocate, figuratively, you suffocate to death trying to help everyone else get their mask on first. It does not work that way.
And it's so funny that you say that. Go ahead.
Make sure your mask is on. Like, seriously, that's like now. Make sure your mask is on.
Well, this is true. Look at that. No, but I've used that before when I've talked with just a few people I've had opportunity to speak with, and I would tell them it's amazing how even with that we also have a cruise ship. when you go through the whole emergency, they tell you secure you first. Like we're talking about bodies of water that you're traveling and they're telling you take care of you first, then you help who's next. But even on the plane, like you said, this is in this sky. I mean, we're literally like above ground. You're in a vehicle that is not controlled by you. But in the midst of all of that, you know, they tell you, you know, make sure you're secure first. What? Okay. Those are two major ways of transportation that you are told to take care of yourself. And I mean, I'm saying that's funny. That's why I was like, it's so funny you brought that up because that is true. And I think about like, even if I was traveling with my children, it's like, take care. You got to make sure you're good. Then you take care of them. And I said, so why is it in those arenas, but outside of that, then we want to act brand new and say, well, no, you shouldn't take care of you first. Well, why are y'all telling us to do that in two major situations? One flying, one on water. Like, really? That's what we're doing? Okay. So.
Those instances, you could literally lose your breath in an instant.
Y'all better go.
Y'all better come on. Y'all, deep breaths. Come on now. Stop.
We saw Titanic. You know, I mean, I'm just.
No, listen. Titanic was crazy. We wasn't on the Titanic. Our last boat ride was on the side, if you know what I mean. We didn't get on the Titanic. They didn't want us there.
Woo!
But had we did, we'd have had that jacket on first.
My. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, like I just think that's so important. Self-care is never selfish. And anybody who tries to tell you it is, maybe you need to check who's around you because they might be a little selfish. Yeah, for real. So this moment is for y'all. Y'all know I just think y'all are amazing, amazing women.
Same to you. Same to you.
I'm constantly shouting y'all. I just, Miss Destiny, you already know, constantly on a 24/7 basis. Miss Humphrey, you are amazing as well. Like, and I love to see, like I told you, I met someone that you know, and it was just really like all love. He was just like, yeah, Miss Humphrey. And I was like, see, that's beautiful. You know it's good when you meet people who know the people you know, and they ain't got nothing good stuff to say.
Yeah.
So we're going to do something new this episode. It's called Humble No More. Okay? Kendrick told us to sit down. We're going to stand up.
Now, you know what? Kendrick.
I love Kendrick.
Oh,
but this is our moment to shine.
I know. But no, his song DNA. Oh, my son introduced me to that song. He sent me a clip. He said, no, really listen to the lyrics. And I said, like, Kendrick, because he thinks like Kendrick is like the lyricist of time. Like, he's just like, he's like the greatest rapper ever. But I've had that on repeat. I said his flow. I mean, anyway, I know Kendrick is pretty cool. And I know like I'm taking the humble part, but let me just put that. I got to give him a shout out though. But I was just like, just his art, just being such a creative, and just his lyricism. I was like, oh, this guy is on fire. I love it. That one song, I said, oh my, I can imagine the rest of it. But yeah, when he sent that, I listened. I was like, wow. I said, this is on point.
Listen to the whole album.
I am. I have to.
A journey. And the last song, Duckworth.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I was like, his flow is just off the chain. You know, I told you my favorite crush ever and only man crush is Andre 3000. Even with his lyricists, but I said as in this generation, like Kendrick, hey, much love to him. Much love to you, Kendrick, Yeah.
I mean, when you listen to the Duckworth, you're going to be
like what?
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
He's definitely I feel like just even ahead of his time. Like, I'm like, dude, wow. And that was 3 years ago with that one.
Oh, God, you just took me back to where I was 3 years ago.
Oh, look. I hope in a good place. Look.
Ooh, thank God for growth, okay?
Woo! But go ahead, dear. I was like, wow. Go ahead.
Okay, so Humble No More. This is the time, ladies, okay? This is y'all's moment to really sit here and bounce your shoulders, raise the roof, and really talk about how dope you are. Because whether or not you know it, there is somebody who you have come across who looks at you and think you are superwoman. Okay, and that's not in the sense of, oh, you strong, you handle things, but it's in the sense of, oh, you get things done. Oh, look how she handles this. Oh, she had a weak moment, but look at how gracefully she's recovered. It's about how much you've impacted those around you, and you may not even realize it until you sit down and think about, oh, last week someone said something to me, and I couldn't soak it in now, but now's your moment too. So right now, humble no more. Who wants to no longer be humble for a moment?
Go ahead, Miss Destiny. It's your birthday weekend, girl. Do it. We love it. We love it.
Before she gets unhumble, can I just say she was a vision this weekend, okay? A vision. So
love
gorgeous.
it.
Oh, my God.
You have pictures, girl?
I have pictures.
You have to send me a few. You got to send some to Nisa. Y'all got to send me some outside of I know with your service shirt or whatever, and I know y'all sent another one, but yeah, so. But Gore, go ahead, love, go ahead.
Girl.
Some more pictures from the photographer that I had at the party.
Oh.
But once I get some that I will definitely send them over to you so you can fawn over how beautiful I was.
I cannot wait.
This is always difficult for me to pump myself up because sometimes I can't recognize when I'm doing the dang thing. But I will say that this weekend I was doing the dang thing. And I mean, once my hair got done, I was a total different person. Period. And I just enjoyed people saying nice things about me, and it just reminded me of how I really try my best to be genuine to the people I'm around, and to be kind, and to have those things brought back to me. It was great. And yeah, I mean, I'm dope, I guess. I mean, not I guess, I am. I'm great. Yeah, I look good, feel good, doing great things, and I'm proud of myself because where I thought I'd be at 18 may not be where I'm at right now, but I haven't given up, even though there are plenty of times where I felt like I should have or felt like I could have. I did it, and I'm proud of that. I've come a long way. Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it. Whew. If I have to describe Latasha J. Humphrey, I would say I am a force to be reckoned with. I've gone through some things, through the years, but I feel as though I've been able to come through those different things with the level of grace, resilience. I do pride myself in being a creative. I'm passionate about being a Black woman, and just my Black heritage. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to learn even more about my heritage, and also to be able to be a queen, and really accept and be grateful for the people I've come in contact with, even those people, places, and things that no longer serve in this season of my life. However, the tribe that I have and the people that I've had the opportunity to be with even now, and just if I'm embracing this moment, and you two are a part of that, for me, I'm grateful to own being the person that I am. I remember writing something before by saying that, I birth and create all types of fierce and majestic giants, and I said from children to ideas and just etc. And so I love hard, and I do it with pure intentions. And I'm just grateful to to be the woman that I am and to be in this season of my life. And I really, I'm grateful for now. And I know you own that. You have that gratitude. But you all, and we talked, even briefly when we talked earlier, I was just like, although a lot of things are going on, I really am like looking forward to, as things manifest, just different, whether opportunities or whatever. I'm just like, one thing about me is that I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I'm never going to give up on Latasha. And I feel like that's what it's rung true throughout the years. I've been knocked down. I'm talking about to like nothing. It was just flat, just like, is it going to be like this? And, but to still have, like I said earlier about having that resilience, I'm just owning it. I mean, we're going on 10 years now, almost 10, will be 9. 9 years coming up in October for even the foundation, having, founded the foundation on October the 7th, 2011. And one that I chose to do in honor of my grandma, Flora Humphrey. And so just even with that was an idea, and, was able to manifest it. People along the way believed in what I was doing and continue to believe to this day. And so just being able to create that, to be able to work with young people and really do what my passion is about, it's really all come together. I didn't know like 20 some years ago, even in volunteering or doing different stuff, that I would be in this moment. So yeah, I agree with Destiny said, when other people tell me, I've learned to take the compliment, when they say good things. And so I embrace those things. So yeah, so that's my humble me no more. I own it. I own that I'm a fly woman who is Black. Period. Like y'all.
I say all day with a little city girl. I like this.
Shout out. Look,
so shout out, and I love it.
So yeah. All right, we need you to play.
Yeah, don't think you was getting practice.
I know. I be thinking I can slide the left. Oh, This is a fire part. Have y'all Googled on your iPhone the cha-cha slide? When y'all do, click the microphone and watch what happens. Just so y'all know, a little hee-hee for your ha-ha.
See, okay, too much. I already can tell.
Okay, so I guess my humble no more. I'm going to give me praise for being, I guess I would say, here. Like when I like from 16 is the earliest I remember, I struggled a lot with like future Nisaa. Like Nisaa at 16 didn't see Nisaa at 17, 18, all the way to 26. She just didn't see it. And it was kind of like I hit a wall. And I kind of shut down, if you will. So like I was existing at that point on autopilot. And so being here and being, being cognizant of my emotions and the things that have made me who I am, and the things that I'm okay with, the things I'm not okay with, and the journey that I'm on and the journey that I've gotten through, and being around my family again, because I spent 6 years away. When I moved out, I was gone for 6 years, and being able to have opportunities like this, you know what I mean, to be like a voice on a podcast, or even putting out a book and doing poetry and being an auntie, which is one of my favorite things in the world, and being a sister, which I take so seriously because I love my brothers. Being here is what I'm just like really proud of myself for, because it was a struggle for a long time, and for like I probably think up until last year it was just a struggle just being here. And so I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of like on my Shorty Black have a tattoo that says "not easily broken," and I'm so proud of that. I am so proud of that. Like, there are days when I'm waking up, I'm like, girl, we here, and we doing it, and we doing it, and we still doing it. And I'm proud of that. I really am. There's nothing and nobody in the world can ever just make me feel like, okay, but you didn't do. That's okay. It wasn't for me to do it yet, but it's coming. And what I have already done has been wonderful. I have taught in classrooms. I have done after school programs. I have mentored. Like I said, I released a book. I have a beautiful niece. I can literally go down the list and just find so many things that I have touched on, that being here and being able to be here tomorrow, which is something I no longer take for granted, that to me is like my biggest, girl, we doing it and we still doing it. So yeah, that's mine.
Love it.
That is mine for sure.
All right.
And can I just say, like, for the young people, have your humble no more moments. Get in that mirror. And I mean, y'all seen Issa Rae's show, how she get, hey, mirror girl, and she get in that mirror, and she get in there, and she, sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes that's what it takes. I'm telling y'all, get in that mirror and hype yourself up. I have a best friend. Sometimes I text her and I go, what's good about me? Like, I'm having a rough day. And we spend the next some odd minutes hyping each other up in the text message. And that's what you need sometimes.
I love
sometimes
that.
That's exactly what you need. So have your humble no more moments. And I don't care what it is. Realize that it is a blessing that you're here to do it. And sometimes the blessing is just that you're here. So, yeah.
I love that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're going to get into some questions, ladies. Yes, no, stop talking to y'all. What y'all think?
We're here. Look, it's your...
I want Destiny to ask them. I like the way she's talking.
Well, go ahead, Miss Destiny. We're gonna keep this moving on this your birthday weekend. Look.
It's his birthday.
Come on, it's your world. It's your world. Go ahead. Look.
Okay. Here we go. So, first question. Do you think you were ready for the world at 18 or whenever you left home?
No. No, I left home at 19 and I was not prepared for what I took myself through, because it was a choice. No.
No. I think both things for me, like with the 18, I mean, because I was still at home at that time, but I had gone to school. I don't feel like I was necessarily prepared for that next phase. My thing is, though, I don't like to live in regret, though. I think that you can learn from situations, because quite frankly, that's how it panned out. So your thing is, at that point, then what lessons will you learn and take from that, so that you can not so much even just do it. Well, it is doing it better. And it's not looking back and saying, oh, this shouldn't have happened like this, because it was on your path. Like, it happened. Whatever information or knowledge you had, that's what happened, or that's what manifested. So I think but as far as in leaving and moving out, like on my own, it was always things I feel like, I would want to then. So my thing now, I'll say this, my responsibility now, I feel like not only to give knowledge to my children with different things, if, that may assist them, because they may not take that on their journey. They'll just, it's information I can give, but I also give it to them, and then any other young people or adults that I come in contact with and we have certain conversations. So I take those lessons learned to give to others.
When I left home, I was headed 3 hours away to college. I was so ready to leave this little old town of Gaston, and even though I like Miss Humphrey said, I don't regret it. I don't, because In the time that I was there, I did enjoy some moments that I had. I met some really great people. I got a chance to, work on things that I didn't think I would ever get to do. Like, I worked with cameras, I did editing. I did some fun stuff. I enjoyed it. But I definitely was not prepared for the level of responsibility that it takes to be out of the house. And, because, you spend up until, 17 years, 18 years before you leave for school being in a child's place and being told to stay in a child's place. Like Nisaa said earlier, and then now you're out of the house, and now it's, oh, yeah, we got to tell you, you're grown now. And so now it's time to do grown folks stuff. And it's just like, oh, okay.
Like, I just want to stay out late. What you mean?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, okay, that's cool. So yeah, I don't think I was ready. I went through a time being there. Even though I had good moments, when I was by myself, I was having a really rough time because I felt like I was going through real imposter syndrome being there at college. And it rocked me. It really did. But it's one of those things, it's an experience that I'll get to share with people that come after me, that and I'll be able to help them not have to go through the same things that I went through. And I'm appreciative for that. Maybe, it was rough at that moment, but the facts are, I'm still here, and that's something to celebrate.
Yeah.
Good
Absolutely. Stuff. I love that. I love it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love that one.
Are we ready for the next one? Or Nisaa?
Yeah, we can. Well, I was just looking at the next question, and I think it's something that we've answered throughout the entire podcast. What is something you've learned during your healing journey? I feel like we done doused the podcast with that answer all up and through.
This is true.
For sure. So I guess we can go to the next one. What is or what was the hardest part of healing?
Realizing that I needed to.
Ooh.
Yeah. Really, and then really looking yourself in the mirror and really seeing you for the things that, you don't promote. I know, the humble no more. We just had our moments this and this. But to even get to that part, really seeing the things that didn't look so beautiful necessarily. It's just that, like we were talking earlier about the cycles, certain things you may have picked up, the habits, certain, things you may have been introduced to, things that just weren't healthy. And it's being able to recognize that for yourself and not blaming anybody else. That's the thing. I'm not saying that certain things may have not come along the path and certain people may have done different things, but it's taking responsibility for yourself. For real. I'm talking about your act. All of you, the flaws and all, that's real. I'm just saying the things that may not, that was the ugly stuff. But I felt like it's worth it though. It's worth it. It's hey, I ain't saying it's the, this the cutesy, you're going to go through healing and, that's the most beautiful thing ever. I'm just saying though, if you make the choice to do it, it's beautiful when you get to the other side.
Yeah, I like that. I think for me, the hardest part is, and I say is because healing is a constant thing.
This is
so
true.
Right after you get over one hump, you find something else that you didn't know was a trigger, and now it is, and now you got to unpack it, and you spend your life unpacking. But it's okay because we're here.
Yes.
The hardest part for me is realizing that sometimes people, I guess we'll take it back to hurt people. And in that instance, you have to realize that your healing is for you and not for them. So you can't go, okay, I feel better now, but I'm going to let you know that this hurt me, and it'll make me feel better if you feel bad about what you did. You really have to just realize that, okay, this impacted me. And the reason I'm telling you is because it has to come out. I have to say it. Whether you're cool with it or whether you go left to center, it doesn't matter to me. Just know that I'm letting you know now, that energy is transferred. It's no longer on me. I am healing from it. I am okay with saying that it happened, it hurt me, but it's on you now. You can't take people with you when you heal. And I think that's the hardest part, especially if you care for the person, because you're like, but I want you to be all right too, and I want us to be all right together. You have to realize that it's a personal thing. It is personal. And for me, that was the hardest part, is realizing that while I'm trying to heal, everybody else or some people may think, well, there's nothing wrong with me. You were being overdramatic, or you were being this. So it's personal. People can't tell you how to heal. Yeah,
good.
That was my toughest part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
So, what would you tell your 16-year-old self about self-care? What do you wish you had known about it at 16?
That it is a real thing. And it's necessary. Yeah. No matter what they're telling you about, we talked earlier about sharing, and that's kind of the whole culture. It's like being able to recognize that this is real and it's necessary.
Self-care is not avoidance. You're not getting any better, or you're not helping yourself by avoiding the problem and pretending that you're okay. That's not taking care of yourself at all. That's what I would tell 16-year-old Nisaa, is that it's actually facing it and dealing with it, not just being like, oh no, we're good. Oh no, we're good. Oh no, we're good.
That famous fine. When people ask you, how you doing? Fine.
Oh,
It's like, you are not
someone
fine.
Told me that fine. Yeah, someone told me fine stands up for failing, insecure, neurotic, and exiting, or something like that. And I was like, geez Louise, that's intense.
Really?
You're just clocked out. But again, that's what somebody told my 16-year-old self when I was telling them, I'm fine. I'm good. You know? Yes, girl.
Holding it together.
Yeah, or I'm chilling, I'm cooling, I'm peachy, whatever. So yeah, deflection is not self-care. Actually take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
Miss Destiny, what you going to put for 16-year-old Destiny?
I think I would tell myself that it goes deeper than bubble baths and face masks. Like you said, avoiding problems is not self-care. And so you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself beyond the surface, because that's important, because eventually whatever is on the inside comes to the surface anyway. So you might as well deal with it while it's still on the inside and not all out there for everybody to see it. So I think that's what I would say.
I like that.
And that's so true, Destiny. Like, what's on the inside, it will manifest at some point.
It sure will. Yeah, it sure will. I like that one. Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, y'all. We take some deep breaths and play Destiny's favorite. Look at her rubbing her hands.
She ready. Look, come out. Woo, can we do some deep breaths for real? Like.
Okay. Y'all ready? That felt good. Yeah.
breathe a little too deep, turn into a yawn.
I'm just look. Go on, lady.
I love it.
Whew, that was a lot.
Yeah. We really worked through a lot of things tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. My God.
But now it is time to do 20 seconds or less and bring some lightness to this heavy.
Please.
So this week, I'm being generous to us all in our brain cells. So this week, we're going to do a collective naming of 3, either a song, a movie, or a TV show.
Wow.
You've got so many options.
We do.
We probably could do 3 of them. Look.
With the word grown in it.
What? With what?
With the word grown.
Oh, grown.
You said grown or wrong?
Grown.
Okay, grown. We starting?
Oh, wait.
Oh, you okay? She got the time.
Ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
Watch our world, I'm grown now.
Oh gosh. I'm Grown Now by Tiffany Evans.
Grown Woman by Beyonce.
Okay. Shoot. That's all I know.
Oh wow.
Oh, don't drink your juice in South Central. What is it? Don't be a minister in South Central by drinking your juice in the hood. Dang, that's not gross in there. Grown. Darn. Never mind. Well, grown was in the title of that.
She was serious about putting that in there.
I thought it was gonna be in there. I thought grown was in there somewhere.
What else did you have, Destiny?
Really, I was gonna put grown ups, of course, grown ups 1 and 2 because I feel like that counts. You know,
Oh, look.
Rugrats all grown up.
Okay.
Trying to think what else. See, that's why I was generous to us all because I was like, I'm not gonna be able to think about myself.
Look, she always gonna make sure. That's that self-care talking. Look.
No,
Self-care. I wasn't
at all.
I was like, we need to work together because as a team, we do so much better.
I know we do. This is factual.
Yep.
So, ladies, I do want us to do the how you feeling check-in. And I wanted to do it earlier, but I want you all to do it now. So this is officially for this season, our 8th episode. And I would like each of you, and I'll kind of wrap us up with it, but really talk about what this journey has been like for you from, starting episode 1 to now. How do you all feel about it? And, just any final words that you like to say. Go ahead, Miss Nisaa. Look, I see you. Look. This one, our music, our DJ. Look. I know, right? Look.
Look, no. On a real tip, I am extremely grateful for the opportunity, Miss Humphrey. I don't think there are enough platforms for young Black women to be able to just discuss life in general, or just discuss or speak without being censored, or even to have conversation that's not centered around, I don't want to say foolishness, but foolishness. So I appreciate the opportunity, and it's really become a therapy session, if you will. Like, there were days throughout this 8 series time where my days were awful, and it was like, I don't think I got it in me to do this. I don't think I could do it tonight. But the minute the call started, I'm like, okay, we're here, we're strapped in, and it's about to be good. And at the end of it, I always felt lighter. And I'm eternally grateful for that. It's been amazing. And I just remember episode 1 thinking, I don't know what to say. I don't know how this is going to go. What if I don't say the right thing? And y'all know I'm not the most PC person. I don't really be, careful with the words sometimes. So I'm like, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I cuss and the baby's just listening? So I'm like, for real. Because Destiny knows. She had to give me this weekend. So I really appreciate the growth, and I appreciate the opportunity, and this has been really, really dope, for sure. So,
thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Miss Destiny.
Yeah, like Nisaa said, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to do this, because I've always considered doing a podcast or something, and I just didn't think, that I could do it. And so this has just proven to me, once again, that I'm wrong. It's definitely a learning experience that I'm very, very grateful for. And just being able to do it with people that I know and that I appreciate already is just like, hey, this is a win-win situation right here. So, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed getting to hear, thoughts outside of my own about situations that I care about, topics that I care so much about, and getting to talk to other people and bounce even ideas, like just hearing other people out, and just having new. Well, I don't know what word I'm looking for right now, but that's okay, because I know what I'm saying. I feel like y'all know what I'm saying too.
True. We do. Look.
Not be the only one, not being the only thoughts in my head. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like when you're isolated to only what you think, that can be problematic. So getting to have different sides of a whole story has been good for me.
I love
Good
that.
Good stuff. Love you, girl. Good stuff. I love both of you. I'm grateful to hear even what you all got out of it. A lot of times that's what it's about, when in different things that I get the opportunity to do or even create. It is about, I say, effecting change, but I like to know what's the impact on it. So to hear both of you say that when it was an idea, like I was talking about earlier, and then it manifested into what we have now on August the 9th, 2020, where this is what, we've been able to create together. So I'm thankful. I always think about with my grandmother and why I even started the foundation, and then, being a vessel for her light to shine through me. It was about, even with her living, about impacting the lives of others. She was about giving people a hand up, not a handout. And she really sold into our family and definitely with the women in our family. So I am a product of her sewing into me, and I'm grateful to be able to do that in this way. To do that for both of you. So I thank you all, for agreeing to join along, because it couldn't have been the same without the two of you with me. So I honor and celebrate both of you and say thank you for joining me. And, I look forward to whatever else we can create together. So it's not, the end of the road, Nisaa.
Oh, well, let me go and see what the song
don't play no more songs, because I don't want them trying to flag nothing. We ain't got time for that. We ain't got time. You do right now. Do right. No, but you have to get those disclaimers. I might have to put that in there like a disclaimer, because it's like, we don't want no foolishness. No, but just with it, it's not the end. I look forward to whatever we create, even later, like down the line, and we never know, like what will manifest. So I'm all for being creative, innovative, cutting edge. I'm all for, being able to bless others with the gifts that I have. And so I'm thankful for both of you all's gifts and talents. You all, and I just say that, like, and I say you all, but you two are amazing women, and you're amazing Black women who are, you are intelligent. You're, each of you bring something different to the table. Although you all are, close in age, it's like still. And that's why I say, even earlier about bridging the gap, that's important to me. That's what our vision is, bridging the gap, building a legacy. And so the opportunity to do this, that's what it's about. And it's beautiful to see when you stay on the path of even what the vision and the mission is of whatever you create, and you don't get off course. So that's the beauty of this to me, that bridging the gap, building a legacy, that's what it's about. And that's what we've then been able to do together. So I love it. I really do. So thank you both.
It's our pleasure.
Good stuff. Well, go ahead, Miss Nisaa. You wanted to share something right before we leave?
I grew up in a funny household, and funny in the sense that we got jokes 24/7, 365, 366 on leap year. We got jokes. And so I just wanted to give flowers and a nod to the late Bernie Mac, one of the greatest kings of comedies out there. Okay. He transitioned in 2008 on this day. And I just think it's interesting that his presence, I feel like, has really been felt so much more lately, especially like with the Moesha reruns being on Netflix. Like the younger generation is like, hey, did y'all know Bernie Mac? And I'm like, yeah, children, we knew. We know who this man is, okay? So I think it's really great. And I just really wanted to give kind of like just a nod to his greatness and the legacy that he's left behind for comedy and just the world of entertainment as well. So, yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, all right, ladies. This is our, this is our episode 8, and we just gonna keep it like that. And and so, audience, we just thank you, you all so much for joining us on this journey of our 8 episodes for this season, and we look forward to whatever we create down the line that you all will be able to be a part of. And so, we thank you all for listening to us, and be sure to share, and just be sure to to just keep shining. That's all I can say. So we love you all so much. Keep shining.
Hands in the air, wave like you don't